On today's episode of the Pondcast, we're gonna be battling with the Dog Father. It's an offer you can't refuse.
For you newcomers, our exciting Battle at the Pond series is where we train the same Pokemon in secret and reveal our strategies live. Our goal is to inspire out-of-the-box thinking and showcase the boundless possibilities of Pokemon training. It's all about embracing creativity and showing that there's no one way to train a Pokemon. So let's dive into it. Today's Pokemon is our Gen 9 Dark-type doggo, Mabosstiff. It takes 2 times damage from Fighting, Bug, and Fairy, half damage from Ghost and Dark, and takes no damage from Psychic types. Its abilities are Intimidate, Guard Dog, which is unique onto this particular Pokemon, where it boosts its attack stat if it's intimidated. Moves and items that would force the Pokemon to switch also fail, and its hidden ability is Stakeout. Its base stats are 505, with hit points being 80, attack at 120, defense at 90, special attack at 60, special defense at 70, and speed of 85. Starting us off, Chase and his build.
My Mabosstiff, aptly nicknamed the Dog Father. The item I gave him was the Life Orb. The ability is Guard Dog. Terra type is Fire. Moves are Body Slam, Outrage, Ice Fang, and Fire Fang to capitalize on that Fire Terra type. 252 EVs into attack, and 252 EVs into speed. Nature I gave him was the Lonely Nature, because of course, when you're dealing with the Dog Father, you gotta boost that attack as high as possible, because the Dog Father ain't ever coming off second best.
Well, I love the addition of the Fang moves. Every time I see a Pokemon that has them, I just think it's so great that you have that option to use. I like the fact that you put the Lonely Nature on it, and they had your little details about why. It totally makes sense based on what this dog is based off of. And yeah, I mean, like a full offensive Mabosstiff. I like it. I wasn't expecting the Outrage, so that's pretty cool. And Body Slam, I'm a big fan of Body Slam, especially after that Rillaboom raid.
The nature makes total sense. It's lonely at the top, and of course, the Dog Father is going to be the don of his terrain. He's got to stay here at the top, and there's no way he's going to keep these petty little pups around him anymore. I love the build, the outrage, the aggression. It shows the very balance of the Don stereotype that we've seen in a lot of media. Good job, Chase, but I got something that'll be coming for you.
Thanks for the compliment on my build X, but you're welcome to try. I don't know how well you'll be able to do against the one and only Dog Father.
I do like the fact that you went with some of the standard Fangs. The Outrage is what caught me off guard. And that's like, wait, what? But I see it, I like it. It definitely it's a full-on aggressive build. I have to enjoy it. I do. It's still a dragon move. That's just so left field. I love it.
That's the inner Scarface coming out.
Oh god.
So like I was saying, I have something coming for you. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because for generations, Growlithe and Arcanine have seemed to be the titular Pokemon for the police dog, or the police that we see in the Pokemon world. I can really tell you, though, that Maschiff and Mabosstiff are going to be filling that role for exactly what I got for the Dog Father in terms of sending detectives and private investigators after it. My Mabosstiff, nicknamed Handcuffs, is meant just for this test. With its impish nature to boost physical defense and having a tough 252 HP, 252 attack, and 4 defense EV spread, along with Hone Claws to apply increased pressure, we're in for a very heavy investigation with the Dog Father. Of course, it has the Guard Dog ability to prevent phasing and intimidate, along with Jaw Lock to maintain as its main stab move and to keep the Dog Father locked in place. By preventing the opponent from switching out, it'll break down the suspect's barriers with Psychic Feint and deliver its cold justice with a final blow of Ice Fang.
I'm sensing a trend here.
I like it.
We're playing cops and robbers, Chase.
Running around like kids on the playground.
You look her having a Mabosstiff. It's got the moveset that really tracks it down, that police dog aesthetic. But what do you think, Chase? Do you think the Dog Father is going to be able to escape handcuffs?
I don't know. If anything, this will be a very close call because although we hadn't compared builds before this, I do like how you went very bulky and EVs into HP and defense to sort of counter the Dogfather's high attack stat and also the 252 EVs I'd put into the attack stat. That paired with Jawlock will actually make for a very interesting attempt to try and get away.
I love it. I especially love the whole like dialogue that you added for like each move. The whole like psychic fangs to break down the barriers, lockjaw as like another way to lock it down, and then the ice fangs to deliver that cold justice. And then guard dog, of course, like really nice ability. Like I know it's its own original ability, I believe, right? It's the only one that has it. So like that's pretty nice to see, like it being used. And yeah, and then going like full HP, full attack, if anything, to try and get that Dogfather.
Although I also like the fact that you called it handcuffs, and you're using Ice Fang, which basically just locks you up for a couple of turns. So I think it is a very appropriate name for your Mabosstiff. I like this.
It's meant on the whole like angry detective. You're in the room for hours on end, and they're just going to break you down with every tool that they have in their arsenal until the Dogfather breaks.
All right, I confess. I did it, you hear? And I'm glad. Glad, I tell you! What are they gonna do to me, Sarge? What are they gonna do?
Sorry, son. That's not my department.
I kind of just went for like a kind of a basic like tanky build. I'm going with the Resto Chesto strategy for this Mabosstiff. So for those of you who don't know, you just put rest on your Pokemon and you give it the Chesto Berry to hold, so that when you use rest, it eats the Chesto Berry, it gets off that sleep status, and it's fully recovered at full HP. So what I did with that, I gave it the Careful Nature to improve its special defense, the full 252 EVs on its HP, 132 into its defense, and 124 into its special defense. I gave it the Stakeout ability for that extra damage for whenever Pokemon gets switched in. Terra typing Psychic, just to kind of like put away those fighting type Pokemon, lose its weakness to fairy type moves. And yeah, and then with that, I gave it Psychic Fangs to break down some barriers, because Reflex and Light Streams are always really annoying in battles. I have the Comeuppance ability to help out with the Stakeout ability, add on more damage with more damage once it gets. And then Snarl, just to be a little bit more annoying for those special attackers. Not as much damage because of the whole 60 base special attack and the deficient in the Careful Nature, but still pretty annoying in my opinion. Yeah, and then of course the rest ability too, because Resto Chesto strat.
So you said Comeuppance and Stakeout for the ability?
Yeah.
And the problem is that Stakeout requires an opponent to switch out, and Comeuppance only deals more damage if you hit the person that hit you last, so they don't kind of work well together.
Oh, shoot. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to. My bad.
At first, I love the fact that somebody made a Stakeout build. It was looking like we were all going to stick with the guard dog and keep locking down every battle that we threw Mabosstiff into. I like that Stakeout has the exact opposite flow of that battle, and Gurren plans on keeping the opponent rotating and shuffling their team so much that they aren't going to be able to build any strategy that shuts down all setup sweepers or setup tanks. And really, I think it's awesome. Like I pointed out, the only thing that we really miss Pursuit. Pursuit would have been a great replacement for Comeuppance. You could just do massive damage, especially with the 2v2 setup.
I agree with X. I felt like it did look like we were all going to go for the guard dog sort of very offensive builds. And I actually really enjoyed hearing your build grid. I like obviously Resto Chesto is goated. Used that a few times myself. Very good strat, but I do like the addition of Snarl to sort of cover against your special attackers, just to help Mabosstiff last a little bit longer. Yeah, very good build. Really enjoyed it.
So, my Mabosstiff, I too went with Chesto Resto as my strategy. Let's go. I gave it the ability of the guard dog because of its signature move, Lockjaw. And the reason I did that is because I plan on keeping my opponent in the field. I plan on making sure that they cannot swap out. So I also gave it Fire Fang. So I hope to be able to get that burn damage in And so not only they're going to be taking fire damage every turn, they're now can't switch out, and I'm still dealing damage to them. And that's why I've got the Chesto Resto strategy in play, so that I can keep them on the field longer and hopefully even, take them down. And following that up, making sure that they take the damage, I also gave it that Psychic Fangs. It basically destroys all the screens and barriers so that they're taking the full damage, and they can't hide behind anything. It's basically I'm hunting them down. And for my stat spread, I made it an animate nature to make sure that that damage is pushing through. Gave it 252 on the attack, 236 into the special defense to bring that up, and the remaining points into the regular defense. So basically, I'm just trying to keep Mabosstiff in this fight a little bit longer while still being able to deal that massive amount of damage every turn.
Okay, so like once again, keep viewers of our podcast videos, we do this in secret. So like totally nobody knows who has what build or what they're doing. So this is a big surprise to me. I thought I was going to be the only one thinking about Resto Chesto, and like, oh man. So like I do like it. Another one for the team. Let's go. Resto Chesto. I do like the Lockjaw ability. Like I definitely had thoughts about using Lockjaw, but since I was using, Stakeout, like I thought, oh yeah, that's not gonna work if I lock that mod in. So like definitely works with like the Guard Dog ability. I think a lot better. Or something else that's not Stakeout. Once again, Psychic Fangs. Can never go wrong with Psychic Fangs to break out those barriers. Really love that. The of course the rest. And then Fire Fang, like having, hoping to proc that burn damage and then let them take the burn while also taking that attack deficient as well because of being burned. Then, yeah, I love it.
I believe Handcuffs would like to present your build with a Deputy Star. Hearing the way that you built this up, it really made me think of the Chesto Berry, just that spear bullet on hand. You got the Barney Fife dog going on, and I absolutely love it. It would work great in a 2v2 as Handcuffs partner. Both of them are trying to lock down. The Psychic Fangs would prevent any barriers or defensive strategies, along with the ability Fire Fang pairs with the Ice Fang and gives both of us great coverage. Really, I think we got a team, and to bring up the same old song and dance, the Dogfather's going down. We're coming for you, Chase.
The other thing I forgot to mention was the fact that with Fire Fangs, if they do burn, it'll actually cut the physical damage of my opponent by 50%, which is why I went to bolster the special defense over physical damage.
It's like an angry officer to me.
6 months to retirement.
I don't know how I feel about the fact that you did copy Gurren's strat there, but jokes aside, I do enjoy seeing how you paired Lockjaw and Firefang together. Thought that is quite a cool combination. And yeah, the Dogfather might be quaking a bit, but no one can catch the Dogfather. That is why he is the Dogfather.
Lockjaw Comeuppance is a good combination because you're holding them there, so now they're forced to hit you, and Comeuppance jumps in damage to max to, I believe it's 150. It also has like fighting moves like Reversal. You get all the Fangs. Trailblaze if you really want to start boosting its speed stat. Destiny Bond. Oh, there you go. Jawlock and Destiny Bond. You're not going anywhere. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. It can even have Retaliate as an egg move.
Very nice, very nice.
Which,
Revenge mod.
No, it's like, think back to the Untouchables. They put one of us in the hospital, we put one of theirs in the morgue. Yeah, they definitely played up a lot of the gangster type feel in this. You've got another move like Substitute. You get a Patsy. You get a Patsy, take all the damage for you. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot with this Pokemon. I found myself really trying to figure out the best way to play it up. There's a bit that you can do with it. I really like this dog. I think it's actually my favorite of the three.
Yeah, I'm starting to see it a lot more now. It is, it helps too with like the whole like Arvin storyline too. It just makes you think best dog.
Well, it's definitely needs to come up with a nice theme for it with the jaw lock move, and then it really, just looking at it, made me think of the old heavy set, I'm sick of this job detective sort of thing. Like if you look back to the Who Framed Roger Rabbit movie, that I lost my brother to this, but this is the only thing I know sort of mentality.
You can make any valiant.
And if we're still on the dog father's case, oh man, you come to me on the day of my trainer's wedding asking for a battle.
Yeah, we need the music going.
The one thing that grinds my gears the most is they did his shiny dirty.
I feel like all of Paldea did all of the shinies dirty.
Or a lot of them, if any.
And with that brings our episode to a close. Let us know what you think about our Mabosstiff builds. How would you train yours? Let us know down below. Share, like, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Bye!
And if you don't, we'll whack you, okay?
Goodbye.
Cheers.
Till next time.